To begin with, this is the equipment you need. So you need 2.50 mils circular needles, which are 80 centimetres long. You need some stitch markers, one type of pin marker or safety pin, a ruler or tape measure, and then obviously scissors or and a tapestry needle for weaving in the ends. Here I've also got one DPN, double pointed needle, 2.5 as well, for casting off. This isn't necessary. And the wool is 4-ply. In the US it's called fingering, in Britain it's 4-ply. You're going to need about 100 grams. Each sock weighs about 35 grams depending on the length that you want it to. I usually buy 2 times 50 grams. This is a 50 gram ball here, or 100 grams and then divide it into 50 gram separate balls. So today we're going to make the second sock to go with this pair. Just a note on the wool, it is 4-ply, and for best results it needs to be at least 75% pure wool. It does need a little bit of unnatural fibres in it for longer lasting socks, but the higher percentage of pure wool the better. My personal favourite is merino. So if we look at the sock, you're going to start at the toe. This then we cast on, I'll show you very soon, and then we increase. This is just straight knitting, and then we do some increases to get what's known as the gusset. From here to here you only work on the back. Then you do what we call wrap and turns to make the base of the heel, and that is the heel there, which is a slip stitch pattern to for extra strength. And then you work up to the top and you have a rib for elasticity, and then you cast off. Okay, to start casting on, we're going to take the end of the wool, about a 20 centimetre tail, and make a slip knot. You're then going to put it on the end of your needle, tighten. Yeah. So you've got tail, and then the working yarn, or whatever it's called. So you're going to place the other needle underneath it, directly underneath it. Find the tail. Oh. Right. Sorry. Okay. So with the working non-tail, you're going to wrap it around, twist with the tail, wrap, twist, you just sort of straighten it out so it doesn't get all attached. So it's wrap, twist, bottom, wrap, twist, top, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and finally 10. So here looks a bit like a bit of a mess, but it's not. You've got 10 stitches at the top and 10 stitches at the bottom. And we're going to pull the bottom needle through so that I can knit with it. And this method is quite often called magic loops because you're going to have loops either side where the bendy bit of the circular needle. We're going to knit. Give it a little bit of a tug. And this bit is the perhaps the most trickiest, where you can go wrong. So you might want to practice it a few times. Until you're happy with the tension. Whoop. Okay. Okay, then we're going to put that on the bendy bit, turn the needles around, pull through the bottom one, and that's going to go on the top. I'm going to do the same. It's actually quite quick to cast on. So we're just knitting plain, no increases just yet, no shaping, it's just to establish the stitches on the needles. Pull it through, turn around, bottom of 4. Okay, so we've got the stitches on and we've done one row of just plain knitting, and it will look like that. So we're now going to start the increases, and the increases are always on the second stitch at the beginning and the penultimate stitch at the end. Keep it nice and tidy. So we're going to knit the first one. The second, we're going to go in as if to knit, knit, bring it out, and then twist the needle to go back into the back of the stitch. And knit. Okay, so you've now got 3 stitches. Then knit all the way to the end, the penultimate, sorry. So penultimate stitch, same way of increasing. Gonna knit, pull it out, go into the back, there's your increase, knit the last stitch. So that's got 12. Do exactly the same the other side. So like I say, this is the most awkward part, but once you get going and the sock starts looking like a sock, it's a lot easier. Okay. So knit, first one. Second one's going to be the increase, so go in, around, out, into the back, knit. Penultimate. So there, we've got 12 stitches on each needle, 24 total. Now I keep the tail inside. The tail can tell you if you're doing the front or the back, but I like to keep it inside to make weaving in a bit easier at the end. And I'm going to put a pin on the front once the sock has got a bit bigger to show me which side is the front, which side is the back. So we're going to do this again. So we've got 12, we're now going for 14. So we're going to knit, find that second, in, knit, out, into the back, knit, okay, there's my second, there's 14 plus a dog hair, pull through, okay, this is the back of the sock, first stitch knit, second increase, Okay, so there's 14, 28 altogether. And we're going to do this until, so 2 more times, until you've got 18 on each needle. Okay, so here I've got 16 each side or each needle, and we're going to begin with increasing one row, next row knitting straight, so no increases. So the first 4 rows are increase every row. Here, first do your increases. Ooh, come back. Okay, so there's 18 there. Do the back of the sock. And it starts looking a bit like a toe. Always give it a little tug on the second stitch as you're going along, just for neatness. No horrible little holes or anything. So there's my increase. Penultimate. So I've got 18. So the next row is just knitting straight, no increases. Okay, just going to knit straight. Yeah. Give it a little tug on that second to keep the sides nice and neat, no holes. And I do that all the way through, so when you change, switch over the sides, from the front to the back, back to front, whichever, second stitch in, a little tug. So knitting that straight. Yeah, so no increases. Go it through. And the back. Straight. And you're going to carry on doing this with one row increase each side, both needles. front and back. Next row, straight. Now it depends on the size of the sock, who the sock's for. If it's a kid, you don't need that many stitches, but this is a size 6, 7 ladies. So I'm going to go to 30 stitches on each needle, 60 total. Okay, so that was a straight row, so the next row increase. Tug. Okay. So I'm going to leave you there, increasing slowly to 30 on each needle. Yeah, so one row increases, second row straight, no increases. After that, what you might want to do is stick the tail in, but I'll show you that when I come back. So I'm going to go off, have a cup of tea, and work my way up to 30 stitches. By one row increasing, next row knitting straight. What I'll also do is to tighten this up. Because it's not, I'm trying to do the filming, so what you see is how you will be holding your needles. And it's, if you're anything like me, I need to see visually and read at the same time. Instructions on there. Okay, so that was an increase, that's up to 20. So next row, I'm going to knit straight, increase, blah, 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 blah. Work like that until you get to 30. Okay, so I have to knit straight there. But you can see it's beginning to look like a toe. I'll come back once the toe is on complete. And I've got 30 stitches on both, each needle, 60 stitches in total. Okay, so I've got 30 stitches on either side, either needle, on the front and the back. So I'm going to get rid of this pesky little tail. Just tuck it in to the bottom of the toe. Doesn't get in the way. And I've put a pin in. Be a safety pin if you got one, something like that. Badge, anything really. To show me that that's the front. You can see the increases. Little lines there. Have a look at your little lines. So there's the okay. And it looks like a toe of a sock. So next we're just going to do plain knitting in the round, go round and round and round and round, and don't stop until the measurement is 13 centimetres from the bottom of the toe to your needles. Okay, and you can see why we call it the magic loop. You've got a loop here, you've got your loop there. Back's on the flexible bit. This is the front. Okay. And as you knit, you're going to have 2 loops either side. So keep going round and round and round until you've got 13 centimetres in total.